justification for not being vegan. It's very simple. It's not complicated whatsoever.
What if you like eating meat?
That's not a justification. It's like, what if you like unaliving people? No, that's not a justification for doing it. You need to have something called empathy. Yes, do you know what empathy is?
Do you have empathy for the bugs you kill? Because you can stop that.
What did you say?
You can stop by bugs being killed.
No, we can't because we.
Yes, you can. I'll tell you exactly what you're going to do right now if you really, truly cared this much. You would start a little farm and you would start growing your own crops and make sure that no bugs get killed.
Just listen, my dear boy. You're not understanding the point, okay? You're doing a red herring is when you run and distract from the conversation at hand. Pay attention and stay on focus. What I'm telling you is that you don't have to do this to innocent animals, but you choose to because you lack empathy and you think it's okay. Eating innocent animals is not okay. That is it. It's very simple. It's not complicated. It's really not complicated. That is it. Like, goodness gracious. Get everyone double tap the screen. Everyone double tap the screen. Hey, what do you want to debate? Ask Ron if you didn't respond to my
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you want to debate?
I'll go vegan.
Why aren't you vegan?
Oh, because eating meat is healthier, that's all.
Not healthier. In fact, if you eat meat, you're more likely to pass away from diabetes as well as suffer from heart disease and cardiovascular disease. And you're just more likely to suffer from heart problems as well as suffer from chemicals that are present in the meat.
Oh, real quick question. Did you know that you could kill like way more bugs in the plants that you're growing right now? Like you have to kill all those bugs and all those animals just to grow your plants.
My dear boy, just listen.
Okay.
Actually, not the case. If you actually adjusted what I said and actually focus, you realize that that's not the case whatsoever, and that the sources all indicate that.
Okay.
Okay, so you realize that eating meat is not okay, and that the innocent animals are being hurt when they don't need to, without their consent, and you're actively causing that when you don't need to. Do you address that?
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye. Seems like you have nothing else to say. Can someone with an actual point come on instead of providing me with baseless claims on why hurting innocent animals is okay? Hey, what do you want to debate?
Going vegan.
Why aren't you vegan?
Because I like the flavor and texture of meat better.
Do you think it's justified to unalive an innocent person because you like the taste of their body?
Who said a person? I said an animal.
Okay, number one, we are animals, but number two, even if we're talking about non-human animals, what is the morally relevant difference that makes it okay to do it to animals but not people? What is the difference?
Because it's my morals and my ethics. It's my choice.
Well, you're not answering the question. I need you to provide me with a trait that is different between the animals and the humans that makes it okay to do it to one and not to the other.
There is no... well, depending on what. It's my morals and my ethics. My morals don't have to be logically... what's the term I'm looking for? Consistent. They don't have to be logically consistent because it's my morals and ethics. I don't believe in a true moral or ethic.
So you're admitting that you're being logically inconsistent. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, because I'm not going to eat a human because other animals normally don't eat their own species.
Okay, sir, let me help you out because you're intellectually struggling in this debate. So let me help you out a bit. Number one, you're not answering...
You didn't even address my claim.
Hold on 1 second, my dear boy. You didn't address my question. I just told you what is the morally relevant difference, the trait that makes it okay to do it to animal, but not person. Can you answer that question or am I going to have to repeat it again?
The difference between a human and an animal. Is that what you just said?
Sir, I see you're having trouble focusing. I said the morally relevant trait between humans and animals that makes it okay to do it to humans, but not animals. That's what I said.
Makes it okay to do it to humans, not animals. I'm not eating humans. I'm eating humans. I'm eating four-legged animals.
Address the question. What's the morally relevant trait? That was the question. Stay on focus.
Stay on focus. What? What is the morally relevant question? My morals and my ethics. It's my choice. It's not your morals or ethics.
Pardon?
It's my choice, not yours. Why do your morals and ethics matter?
Sir, again, it's an internal inconsistent critique. You're being inconsistent, which you admitted, and if you're inconsistent,
how?
You have no basis for what you believe. I just
how
asked
am I inconsistent?
The difference between humans and animals. You have nothing. And let me ask you a question: would you do it to cats and dogs? You think that's okay? See cats and dogs?
I mean, they do it in other cultures. Yes.
Okay, so you think it's okay to do cats and dogs, but regardless, the point is that there's no morally relevant difference between humans and animals that makes it okay to do it to animals.
Emotional connection, I guess, is one you could use there. An emotional connection to it. Like, I won't eat a pet, I won't eat a friend, I won't eat a fellow human, but I will eat another species.
So I don't have a moral connection to you, but I'm not gonna eat you, am I? Just because I don't have a
I
connection.
literally just agreed with you on that. What do you did you not listen? Are you consistent here? Are you listening?
Listening. Hold on one second, my dear boy. Let me help you out because I see you're having trouble focusing. So just listen to what I'm saying. I said I don't have a connection to you, okay? But I'm not going to eat you because I have something called empathy and ethics that dictate that it's not okay to eat you just because I don't know you. Are you understanding that? Do I have to repeat it again?
Did I not address that already?
No, you did not address that.
Yes, I did. You didn't listen because I said, I'll quote it word for word. Hang on. I'll quote it word for word verbatim. So I said that.
Hold on one second, my dear boy. I asked you, what's the morally relevant difference? What's the trait between humans and animals that makes it okay to do it to non-human animals but not humans? Can you answer that question?
Like I said, it's deeper than that. And also, you're not listening because I already addressed, the difference between human and food, right? Because what I said,
Just relax one second, my dear boy. You need to answer that question. It's not deeper than that. That's not an answer. Answer the question. What is the morally relevant trait between non-human animals and humans that makes it okay to do it to them but not human beings?
one is my own species, the other is not.
Okay, so you're saying that anything that's not your species is okay to abuse them. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say abuse. It's okay to eat it. But if you consider that abuse, sure.
Hold on one second, my dear boy. Do you not consider gassing a living being to death without its consent to unalive it is abuse? Do you not consider it that?
That's very that's like kind of moving the goalpost here, but or not a red herring, but so you're trying to draw a specific answer out of me. So
you're not actually addressing what I'm saying. You keep ignoring it. It's not a red herring. Do you think it's okay to abuse them? That was the question.
Another species, sure, I guess, if that's what you call abuse, sure.
So, okay, do you not think that gassing a living being to the point where it's unalived as well
Not
as
living being, a different species. You need to address that claim because that's my consistency right now.
Sir, do you know what a living being is? Do you not think that gassing a living being?
I didn't say living being. I already made the moral difference is because it's not my species. The difference is it's not my species.
Hold on one second, my dear boy. Do you not think animals are living beings?
I said it's not my species. That's the separation here.
Your question. Address the question. I see you having
They
trouble.
are. They are living beings, yes.
So then why will you keep denying that? Just stay on focus. They're living
They are living beings, but they're not my species. I already addressed this claim. You keep making a cyclical argument here because you're not listening. I said that because it's a different species, it's okay. So why are you trying to say living being and change the terminology that we already agreed upon?
Let me help you out. So you think it's okay to abuse anything that's not a human? That's what
we already went through this. I said yes. If you consider that abuse, yes.
What do you mean if I consider that abuse? That is abuse.
If you consider gassing another species abuse, sure, yes. That's what we didn't agree on a definition of abuse, but sure.
Sure. Hold on one second, son. You need to stop saying sure. It is abuse to do that. Is that what you're agreeing on that, correct?
Or what is your definition of abuse? Because you keep saying abuse, but you're not defining it.
Causing unnecessary harm and suffering to another living being.
To another living being. So then we're going to have to agree to disagree because abuse does not matter to a living being.
Yes, it does.
If you're okay, then can I abuse a table or abuse a countertop? No. Abuse is a verb. It's not attributed to a specific noun or proper noun.
Paying attention. I need you to pay attention. I need to come down to planet Earth and actually rationally engage because you're intellectually struggling. Again, in terms
not addressed a single thing I've said.
There has to be a living being that is being abused. There's no such thing as abusing a table because it's not a living being. You can damage it, but it's not abuse because there's no recipient that's feeling pain. Do you understand?
What is the definition of abuse? What is the definition of abuse?
Sir, again, I've just told you causing unnecessary harm and suffering to another being. Do you understand that?
Being or living being? You've now made two different definitions.
No, that's literally what I said the first time, if you were paying attention.
Okay, so you said living being you said being this time and living being the last time. But sure, living being. No, then we disagree on the term abuse.
Hold on one second, my dear boy. You're trying to obfuscate with semantics. Stay on focus. The point is, what is the morally relevant trait between humans and animals? Okay, just one and not the other. You said what species, right?
Yes, species. It is not the same species as humans.
Okay, so it's okay to abuse any non-human animal in any way, shape, or form. You agree with that?
Yes. That is exactly what I wanted you to say. Yes.
Okay, so torturing dogs, cats, all of that is okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to have intercourse with an animal, non-human animal, that you'd say that's okay as well.
No.
Why? Why is that?
Eating and intercourse are very different. I don't know if you consider eating and intercourse the same, but when I say I'm going to eat an animal, I don't mean intercourse. I mean eat, like consume, and digest.
What would be your issue with that, though?
Say again?
What would be your issue if someone did do that, though?
Because that's completely different.
No, why is it completely different? The animal, you clearly, do you think that any animal any living being that you can unalive without its consent, do you think you have any moral value on it? You weigh any value on it?
Bro's red herring.
Right? Do you have any?
Dude, the utilities are completely different, bro.
So you're not paying
Intercourse is very different from consuming. This is very off topic. You're trying to bring morality and ethics into this when it doesn't even need to be, because you haven't even addressed what I said.
An ethical stance, that's a core part of it. So do you agree that you don't care for the rights or the living experience of any being which you unalive without its consent? Thank you so much for the roses, Hammers. Do you agree with that?
You're going to have to repeat it because you keep talking about roses. I couldn't remember what you just said.
You don't care for the rights or respect any living being that you unalive to consume its unalived carcass. Do you agree with that, right?
To consume, yes, I agree.
Okay, so you respect its rights at all. You don't respect a being like that.
No, I respect being able to consume it, but other than that, I don't bother.
Okay, so why on earth do you think it's okay to unalive a living being and consume them, but not do
not living being, a living being other than a human.
Yes,
let's clarify that.
Okay, why do you think that's okay?
Why do I think that's okay?
Yes.
Because it's my choice.
That's not.
Why do you think it's not okay? Why do you think it's not okay?
Because those are living beings. The same reason why you'd say you wouldn't have intercourse with an animal. Can you tell me what exactly is wrong with that?
Having intercourse with an animal?
Yes.
Well, society says it's not okay, and I agree with society on this.
My dear boy, you actually addressed the question. I see you having trouble focusing. I said you. What do you find not okay with it?
Oh, because I think it's weird.
But if someone did it, you'd have no moral issue with it. You wouldn't care about the animal.
I would voice my opinion and say it's weird. I can't like forcibly stop them and say, hey, morals and ethics say you can't do that. And it's morals and ethics are subjective, dude. I think you need to understand that.
1 second, my boy.
I see you're having trouble, my boy. You need to address the claim. You need to. You've lost the plot, mate. You need.
So you don't care about any of the rights of any animals. That is morally reprehensible. So you don't care about whether they're abused, tortured, any of that. You don't care about any non-human animal. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Unless I have an emotional attachment to it, then correct.
You can treat them in any way, shape, or form.
Unless I have an emotional attachment to it, I disagree with that. Not in any shape or any way, shape, or form. Only in certain instances.
That would be okay too.
Say again?
So if I kick dogs, that would be okay too.
I don't think it's okay, but you may.
No. But clearly, your brain's processing slowly. Because if you view it as okay to unalive and eat them,
why are you being condescending, dude?
No, because you're struggling intellectually. If you unalive and eat something, you don't care about whether someone kicks it. That's clear. One's far worse. Why would you care about the other?
Some animals are bred specifically for eating, and some are meant specifically for other things.
No, sir. You're assigning that purpose to them. It's like me saying slaves were bred to be slaves. No, you're assigning that purpose on beings which deserve rights because that's immoral.
Okay, so have you asked these beings if they want rights?
Pardon?
Have you asked these beings if they want rights?
So would it be okay to
have the mental complexity to actually assume and know what a right is?
Does a baby have that?
Does a baby have that? It develops differently. That's a baby is a stage of human anatomy. Let's get to that here. Okay, we can talk about this. So a baby will eventually develop into a human. You even say evolution is a fact, and a baby is evolving into a fully grown human.
No, it's not evolving. Number one, you're misusing the term. It will grow up and grow into a human, but it won't evolve into a human. You're using
which will have the intellectual complexity to understand rights and
baby. Well, it doesn't have it at that present point. So does a baby have the capacity to?
But cows have been proven to never have it. That's the difference.
And if I just asked you a question.
You keep stuttering, dude. You need to actually address my claim because you just keep dancing around it. I already answered the question. No, a baby at that moment does not, but it will eventually develop into a human. That is completely different.
So you're giving long, verbose explanations without actually providing evidence. The baby at that current point does not have the capacity to acknowledge.
I already said yes, it does not, but it will grow up. But it will grow up.
So you're saying it's okay to do it to the baby? Is that what you're saying?
No. I said the baby will eventually grow up, which is an exception to that. There are exceptions and
Why is
essences,
that an
yes.
exception? Why is an exception? That's not an exception.
Because a cow will never develop the brain like that. That is the juxtaposition. That is the differential. A cow will never develop a brain to understand rights in human society.
Okay, sure. Let's say someone has intellectual disorder, and they don't have an IQ above 70 and they can't understand these things. It's okay for you to consume that human being because they don't have the capacity to understand rights.
No, because I already said humans, I won't eat humans.
No, but your basis was on whether they understand rights. That's what you said you wouldn't do this.
No, I said you're not keeping consistent here. My original basis, and still is my basis, was no, because dude, if you've conceded to that point, then to agree with me on that.
That's immoral, and we've already discussed that, but you haven't addressed.
How did I say it was immoral? I said it was. I said I can eat another non-human. It doesn't have to be the same species. If it's not the same species.
Hold on 1 second, my dear boy. You just admitted that that the cow cannot understand its rights, and I said the baby doesn't either, and you said it's okay to do it to the cow but not the baby. Explain to me how that makes sense.
Because the baby is a human, and I already made that claim. I will not eat humans, and also the baby will develop its brain. The baby will develop and grow. And then you had to pivot and move the goalpost to a disabled person. Then you have to pivot and move the goalpost to a disabled person. You completely pivoted away from the argument just to make another claim. You're trying to do a come on, bro.
The disabled person was a valid point because they are a human being and they will never understand that. So clearly,
and did I say I would eat human beings? Did I say I would eat human beings?
My dear boy, hold on 1 second, my dear boy. Clearly, understanding rights is irrelevant to the point at hand. You admit that, right? You concede there, right? Understanding rights is irrelevant.
Understanding rights is irrelevant. No.
Well, a human being who's disabled doesn't understand that, so it's okay to consume them?
We already said there's a difference. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
The difference is, does a baby's brain develop eventually?
Sir, you're not understanding. I just asked you.
Does a baby grow up into a human? Does a baby grow up into a human?
That's not the relevant point. Sir, you're not
understanding. Bro. You're trying to, dude, you're literally on a unicycle backing up, bro. Lock in. Look, a baby will grow up into an adult.
Just listen. Just turn off your mic and don't turn it on because I'll just keep turning it off. Let's put a muzzle on the dog so it pays attention. Just listen. As I was saying, you just conceded that you acknowledge that something acknowledging its rights is not a basis to unalive that thing. A disabled person doesn't, but you seem to have no issue with that. Again, you've already acknowledged that you don't care for other innocent animals, and I will admit it's an ethical argument. I have no objective way of proving it to you. However, I can only appeal to your moral intuition that it's not okay, and it's being speciesist. Although animals can feel like you, all of these things like you said, it's okay to abuse animals in any way, shape, or form that you please, and that is immoral, and that is terrible. You just conceded that it's okay to abuse animals in any way, shape, or form. That
are not humans, correct?
Yes, that is true.
But not in any way, shape, or form. I specifically said for consuming. So let's not generalize the claim.
Listen, if you consume something, you don't have respect for that right. If I unalive you and consume you without your consent, do I have any respect for you? Answer that question.
If you what?
If I unalive you and consume you, do I have any respect for your rights?
No, because you're human and you are eating another human.
Just listen, it's nothing to do with humans. If I unalive you and consume you, do I have any respect for your rights? Yes or no?
Why are you making this analogy? I've never claimed this. What? I'm not a cannibal. I don't see why you're saying this.
Sure. Just answer the question. If I unalive you and consume you, do I have any respect for your rights?
I would say no, but someone may say yes.
Okay, that's the whole point. Okay, and that's just being deluded. If you unalive someone and consume them, you clearly have no respect for them. You don't care for them. You don't care in the slightest bit whatsoever for the torture and pain that they go through. Same way, if I unalive an animal, I don't care for it at all. I don't care for
that's not true.
That is true. You have no respect for innocent beings that you torture and unalive. That is the whole point.
What makes an animal innocent? Where did this generalization come from? What makes an animal innocent? Animals eat other animals without consent, bro.
Sir, they don't have a choice. You can go to the store and get vegan foods. They can't. Do you understand that, or are you still getting confused?
Can an animal choose to eat plants and stop being carnivorous?
No, it can't. That's the whole point.
Oh my gosh, you just proved the point, dude. Oh my lord. Dude, animals are the same way. They don't care about us. They don't care about us either.
Sir, they don't have the brain capacity to do that. You do.
Oh, you agree they don't have the brain capacity. You do agree they don't have the brain capacity. You just conceded, bro.
Just listen. You just listen. You're not paying attention, okay? You can go to the store and get vegan foods. You're unnecessarily harming animals when you don't need to. You can go to the store and get vegan foods without hurting the animals. but you choose not to because you're immoral. These animals are going through unimaginable pain, and you still choose to hurt them in unimaginable ways. You can go to the store. The lion has to get the deer. It cannot choose to just eat grass. You have the brain capacity and the location physicality to go to the store and get vegan foods, yet you choose not to because you're being immoral.
On whose terms am I being immoral? Yours or mine? Yours.
Number one in mine.
Glad you concede. Okay, you concede. Morality is subjective. I can have my way of thinking, so I don't need to go vegan. There's no choice. It's
animals. You
a
don't care for
cyclical
the
argument.
planet.
It's subjective morality, bro.
You care about the planet?
Do I care about the planet? Yes.
Okay, so why would you choose to do an act which you don't have to do that would hurt the planet? Because not being vegan hurts the planet because it's unsustainable.
Cows hurt the planet more than humans eating the cows, bro. Lock in. Cows literally hurt the planet by farting. Lock in.
And aren't you breeding them into existence? Learn to listen, sir. You breed 90 billion animals a year. You're causing the issue.
And then we consume them. And then we consume them.
You're breeding 90 billion. You continuously breed more, and it's growing because the human population is growing. You're not paying attention.
Do you care for the planet? Why are you eating plants? Do you care for the planet? Why are you eating plants?
Number one. Number two, you eat we grow way more plants and help way more plants even in that case, and they don't feel pain to grow to feed the animals that you eat. So you're still not.
Well, you can't use harming the earth because you wouldn't use the earth because the earth is, by your definition, I guess in this case, living. So if you're harming the earth by taking away plants, which is proven to remove, the ability to protect the ozone layer and produce oxygen, then it wouldn't make sense. So that's just not a very good argument. It's not a very good analogy.
Listen, hold on one second. You're hurting the environment way more because we have to grow. 70% of crops are used to feed the animals that you eat, and it's unsustainable. You are hurting it way more. So even by your logic, you're still inconsistent. Do you understand?
It was your logic, not mine.
It's literally your logic as well, because you just said that again, taking away planets harms the.
I'm just using the Socratic method to disprove your point, bro.
I'm not using any Socratic method. I literally refuted what you just said, but you're just not addressing my point.
Okay, your point was originally, do I believe I'm hurting the planet? Because you completely decided to pivot instead of talking about objective morality or subjective morality.
No, I admitted. I said it was subjective. I said that this is subjective.
So then why does it matter if I'm vegan or not?
Because I'm trying to convince you that hurting innocent animals is not okay. It is subjective. I agree. In the same way, if you didn't believe that unaliving another person unconsensually was wrong, it's subjective. I can't objectively prove to you that's wrong. I can only appeal to your moral intuition to know that those things are not okay. Do you understand that?
And so if I don't believe, yes, I understand that. And so the reason this is useless is because I don't care what you think. I care what I think.
Well, I'm going to continually try and show you that what you're doing is wrong. In the same way, if you thought slavery was good and you thought that was okay, I'd do the same thing and be like, hey,